Hi, everyone. I wanted to pop on really quick because I neglected to talk about the new moon. I didn't neglect to, I chose not to. I have some concern that people who do follow my channel aren't so interested in astrology, and I get that. So I thought I'd separate it out and do a separate video, and then life has just been so busy this week. Anybody else? There's a lot going on. It's a new moon today in Aquarius, and I want to go over this with you because there's a lot to talk about. Before I do, I'm going to go ahead and ring my meditation bowl again. If you notice, I've been doing this more often on my videos because this is a time for us to ground, to root into what holds us as we kind of move with or are pulled with um, the possibilities that are calling us forward. All right, so I'm going to tell you more about that in a moment, but perhaps you've been noticing some irritability, some frustration. Things aren't quite moving along, and yet it feels like it's possible they can. I'll tell you more about that in a moment. But first, let's just take a moment to drop inward, to ground. And again, I do this quickly to show you it doesn't take a long time. You know, there's a misconception. I need an hour to meditate. I need this much time and I don't have it, so I won't do it. No, take the time you have and utilize it to support yourself. So let's do this. Here we go. Just listening to the sound of the bowl, dropping inward with willingness to be present to you, to how you're doing in this moment, how your body feels, what your energy's like. Just noticing and being with what you notice with compassion and what I like to call sacred awareness. Hmm. Really feel the connection to your body and especially inward to your heart. I think of our heart as our little inner sanctuary where we can drop in, saturate in some love and acceptance and compassion for all that we're facing and dealing with individually and collectively. And just take in one more deep breath. This time, breathe in what you most need in this moment to feel rooted and grounded. And exhaling whatever is in the way of your way. Let it go. Good. Okay. That always feels better for me. I hope it helps you too. Okay. So we have a new moon in Aquarius, but it's not just a new moon in Aquarius. We have 6 planets in Aquarius. We have the Sun and Mercury, which is in retrograde. This is why I really felt it was important to do this video, to combine the opportunity of a Mercury retrograde with a new moon. So then we also have, what else do we have? Saturn and, um, and Jupiter. So and Venus. So a lot of energy in Aquarius. So in general, I'll just cover that. Aquarius energy is very much, I think of Aquarius as quirky visionary. Aquarius is a lot of innovative ideas, a lot of progressive and futuristic. Like, you know, sometimes if you talk to an Aquarius, and I have a really good friend who's an Aquarius, and you think, what is she, where is she? Because she's in the future or she's in a vision of possibility. Well, this is what we're all invited to today with this new moon in Aquarius, but there's a lot of other stuff going on with it. So I want to try to go through that. But more about Aquarius, and you may notice it's I call it the astrological weather. That's what when I talk about astrology, it's like a little bit of a weather report, right? There's an astrologer I follow called Anne Ortley, and I adore her. I think she's amazing, and she they reference her as the weather gal, and I think that's brilliant. So I'm giving you a little astrological weather report. You know, astrology is a symbolic representation of how universal patterns correspond with our human nature and the cycles of life, just like the cycles of the season, right? We go through these cycles. So for me, again, this is my point of view. Everyone can look at this however you want to look at it. It is a representation of Creator's design for our lives, for our world, for our humanity. Okay, so so Aquarius in the new moon in Aquarius is the right way to say that. A snapshot of the feeling of it. It's a time for us right now, again with Mercury in retrograde, to review. Yes, more reviewing, setting intention, which is always what the new moon energy is about, setting intention, planting seeds to cultivate, to grow through this cycle, and visioning. I always say visioning is available anytime we need a reset to get unstuck and to really tether back into hope and possibility. But with an Aquarius new moon, really a super time to vision. And I got to give a little plug for my online course, Sacred Soul Visioning, because I'm telling you, it's a great method based on my work as a hypnotherapy to do visioning, I call it soul visioning. Excuse me, I got a little frog in my throat. Which is perfect for today because really this new moon is inviting us to clear all of our stuff with expression so we could speak our authentic self, speak our unique message. Okay. Everything is purposeful, even my scratchy throat. So, yeah, this Sacred Soul Visioning program, I think I have 6 segments that I walk you through. Give me some grace. It was my very first video experience talking to a camera without a person in front of me. So it's a little, it's great content, but you can tell I'm a little nervous, and that's okay. The material is good. So I walk you through a process that I used to teach in person about tapping into not your conditioned self vision, which is just usually hand-me-downs or what is everyone else doing? I'll do that. Now this is authentic to you, your authentic vision, so part of the process is I invite you to create a personal mission statement. And then of course we use the process of vision boarding, which is a fun process, but as a hypnotherapist, for me, it instructs and informs the subconscious mind, which will help you have those breakthroughs. So little shameless plug there. I'll put something in the details about that for you. Okay. So what else? So we've got, the imagery, and this is what I'm going to try to do when I do this astrological weather reports, is because I work with imagery. I'm a hypnotherapist and do a lot of guided imagery, and I do a lot of dream work. So when I read about what's happening, or I look at the ephemeris and I see the aspects, I get a vision. I get not a vision, an imagery. So this is the imagery, and now I'll describe it. The imagery, and it's really fitting for this, for springtime here in Washington State, when the sun comes out more and all the snow-packed mountains begin to melt and the rivers begin to overflow and they flow rapidly, right? So that was the imagery I saw, was a fast moving river, Aquarius energy, moving to the ocean. And at the ocean, if you've ever seen this in real time, and it's a really cool thing to see where the river does meet the ocean, there's some pushback. It's the transition place, right? So this is how I interpret that. All this Aquarius energy, which is excitement and possibilities and innovative ideas. And it's like suddenly you get these insights. Oh, I know what to do now. I can do it this way. I can do it a new way, right? It's quick downloads of insightful information to apply to where you've been stuck, like that frozen snow packed in the mountain, right? Suddenly there's some movement and there's some flow. But it gets to the ocean, and again, you could maybe even Google this to see what it looks like when a river meets the ocean. There's pushback. And I interpret this, as the ocean like being the gatekeeper. Like, hold on now, I don't know if I'm going to let you move forward here. And that is what the energy feels like right now, because even though we've got all this Aquarius energy, we have Mars and Uranus in Taurus. Mars is how we move forward, and Taurus is practical and methodical and wants to make sure we're going to do it right. Right isn't exact for Taurus, that's more a Virgo, but it is practical. Like, do you have a practical way you're going to move forward? And Aquarius is like, no, I just know it's going to work. Let's go. So so this Taurus energy, and this is actually creating a square to, to the Aquarius energy. In fact, we have I'm going to look at my notes on this to make sure I have it right. But there is a, a Mars. Well, Mars and Uranus and Taurus is, where is that square? I'm sorry. This energy is squaring. I got to look this up. This is going to bug me because I am not pulling it up. And I want to get this right. So let me just talk more about that river flowing as I go back to Mars is, okay, well, we have a moon square Mars today and Venus conjuncting Jupiter, which I do want to talk about more. Let me go back to this. I'm sorry. No apologies, but I do want to make sure I'm saying this correctly. I just kind of woke up late this morning. I was going to do this last night, and this is me keeping my commitment to doing this. Okay, here we go. See that right now, what I'm demonstrating is Mars and Taurus saying, slow down and get it right or get it correct, or make sure the information is solid. Taurus wants solid and structure, where Aquarius energy just wants to run, right? So I just demonstrated that for you, okay? So Saturn square Uranus. Okay, Saturn square Uranus, thank you, got it. So Saturn in Aquarius squaring Uranus in Taurus. Now, this is I think they're at 6 degrees and 7 degrees right now, and they're going to be in an exact conjunction on the 17th. So this energy, Saturn is like the brakes, and Uranus is like, a lot of frenetic energy, right? But because Saturn is in Aquarius, it's a little quirky. It's a little different because Saturn is although Aquarius is ruled um, by Saturn and Uranus. It's the original one was Saturn, and then when Uranus was discovered, it became associated with Uranus, which to me makes a lot more sense. And I know some of this doesn't make any sense to you, and all of the terms I'm using, just go Google them and do your own little research, okay? So, but this is that gas brake feeling again, wanting to move forward, hitting the brakes, okay? So that's going on as well as Venus conjuncting Jupiter. So what is this mixed bag of stuff? So this flow wants to happen, this Aquarius flow. So since it's a new moon, we want to capture that potential of this, right? And set intention. There may be some delays, but we're setting intention. We're planting seeds. There's a process of growing something new, right? So Aquarius energy invites us to look at what didn't work in the past. All that we went through in 2020, we had a lot of time to research, a lot of time to sit with it, to feel stuck in it, to get real. So Aquarius says, okay, how can you do this differently? The good news about Aquarius, it's objective. It's kind of detached. It's not too emotional, because it's like, oh, sometimes we'll think, oh, I know I need to let go of this and give up on that or shift out of this relationship. But if we're too emotionally involved, we can't make that conscious choice, right? So Aquarius helps us there. It wants us to get objective and detached. It's like a scientific mind. We're just looking at the facts here, right? So and it's very unique. And this is a really key. Aquarius invites us back to our authentic selves. The shedding of the conditioned self, the shedding of those stuck places of the way we did it because we wanted to fit in, we wanted to be loved, we wanted to be liked, we wanted to matter. This is a way where we reclaim ourselves, our unique being, our authenticity. And we say, no matter what anybody else cares, I'm gonna be me. And not only just be you, but to let your freak flag fly. I have Saturn in the first house, and I remember I had an astrologer look at my chart a long time ago, and he said, you have a very conservative nature, but when you get comfortable, you really want to let your freak flag fly. And I was like, yeah, maybe. And still, because I have Capricorn rising, I can feel this container, but For me, I'm taking this invitation and I'm going to let my unique self burst forward. And so this Aquarius energy is quick, it's sudden, and it can, if we're flowing with a river, it feels really good. But here's the thing. It could also feel like if we're too stuck on a way we think it should go, and these quick turns can feel unsettling, or we can feel some resistance. So use that river metaphor and let yourself flow with what is. Now, vision, catch those insights. Well, what can I do differently? Because breakthroughs are going to be coming. You may be invited into a new direction, a new way of seeing and being, a new way of doing everything you've done, completely different, so you can move forward. So I want to make sure I've got everything else there on Aquarius. This is it. And I've talked about this before. It's like that the old way is shifting into the new way, but there's going to be this kind of, mashup, old way, new way. What's your choice going to be? If you keep doing it the old way, that saying, you keep doing it the old way, you'll keep getting what you've always gotten. If you always do what you've always done, you'll always get what you've always gotten. Okay. This is that invitation. Do it a new way. Vision for something higher. Take the lessons you learn. This is also really, really important with the Saturn square Uranus. What did you learn? Saturn wants us to make sure we've learned our lesson so we can have the new possibilities. What did you learn and what will that look like? So now I want to tie this together with the Mercury retrograde. What is the Mercury retrograde? It comes as an opportunity to review, reassess, reconsider, reclaim, all the RE words, right? So, okay, invitation to move forward in a new, innovative way. Best and most practical way to satisfy Mars and Taurus is to say, what didn't work? Be real. What didn't work? What doesn't work right now? And what could you do instead? And you could just the opposite. What's the opposite of that to get some insights? Because if you get to I don't know, that means your subconscious mind doesn't have any ideas what to do. And that's where we get stuck. If consciously you can identify some new way to do it, this is a guaranteed indication that your subconscious mind doesn't have any information to support you. That's what I tell my clients all the time when they say, oh, I'm stuck. Can you help me move these blocks? Yeah, sometimes there's blocks, but mostly the block is your subconscious mind does not have adequate information to support you. Well, Aquarius, the visionary, has lots of ideas for you right now. So this is a time to look at what didn't work, what could work, to set an intention, and then stream of consciousness journal about it. What will that look like? What will I be experiencing? What will be different? What will I be feeling? And really to invite in that authentic, beautiful nature that is you. That is you. Since we're talking about authentic nature, I would say go find a picture of yourself when you were a baby or a child, when that beautiful natural expression of your soul was very present. I have one behind me, but I'm not going to pull it because it'll look funny on this background. But when I look at that picture, I see these sparkly eyes and joy just shining through my eyes. And I think I was like 9 months old, 6 months old, somewhere in there. That's the me I'm recalling, right? That's when you look at your younger self. I've been teaching this for years. When you look at your younger self, that is your soul essence saying, call me back. I'm here, I'm waiting. And this is where we crumble all the conditioned ways of being that we chose to play safe, to fit in, to be loved and accepted. When we love and accept ourselves first, we're not as hooked in to all the noise of the world telling us how we should be, what we should be doing, what we shouldn't be doing, right? So that might help you get a picture of yourself when you're journaling and connect back to that authentic self. Another thing I like to say is ask your soul, what do you want me to know? What is it? I'm listening. And just write, or write a poem, or just pay attention to where your attention goes. This is sacred awareness. What books are you called to right now? What music? What movies? What people? Especially the people you most admire. And think about the Aquarius qualities: quirky, bold, really, very unique, progressive, doing their own thing. And you might notice either some judgment about them, like, gosh, they always just do what they want, and that could be your shadow showing you where you deny it and stop letting yourself just be who you are and do what you want to do. Okay. Or you can admire them so much. Wow, they really always speak their truth. They're so out there. They're so progressive. They're such advocates. Like Aquarius energy really is about humanitarian efforts and community. And they're really awesome at that. So if you admire that, that is your Jung called it bright shadow, the brightness of our being, the possibility there too. So this is just such a rich time. And I'll just wrap up really quick with Venus and Jupiter. Venus is the planet of love, and Jupiter is blessings, and it expands everything that it's connected to. And I always think of love and blessing. So Venus, love, and blessing. So during this time, even though there's some push pull and old way, new way, and maybe some frustration, some struggle, and I will say this, you might have some clashes with people, because they're trying to figure out their old way, new way too. And we could be, crossing each other in that water, the river going to the ocean. And to remember that we are all the water, we're all trying to be in the water. And so we need to offer some grace, some peace, acceptance, and trust here for our own unfolding and for everyone else's unfolding, and to hold that higher vision, not just for yourself, but for everyone, for the collective. Okay. Um, I want to say, I notice I've stumbled over some words that I get information so quick that I often forget words or I trip over my words. So that is again why I'm starting to ring my meditation bowl before these talks, because it helps me slow down. Anyway, I think I got everything I wanted to say. Pay attention to those quick insights that come, those innovative ideas, what's going to work better for you. Um, this is a time to just notice the tension, ask what you need. There is going to be tension. That's what a square does. But it's also, again, everything is purposeful. Why is this happening for us? It's to help us get those sharp moments of awareness and feel the tension. Those are growing pains. That's also what I wanted to say. This is a rebirthing time. 2020, we were like gestating what is possible. This year is about birthing in new possibilities. And, we're still in the birthing pains, but we are birthing in something new individually and collectively. Okay, one last look here. All right. I'm excited for this time. I'm excited for you. I want to hear about what you're noticing in your body, in your life. Of course, we're noticing the Mercury retrograde, all kinds of electronical challenges, quirky things showing up, losing information, invitation to slow down. Even though the river is rushing forward, slow our pace and witness it moving quicker and ask, how can we support the movement that is wanting to happen, and to allow the transformation within ourselves to be supportive to the collective transformation. Okay. Comment. I want to hear what you took away from this. And, if you are a little shy about commenting, just put some hearts or some emoji that represents what this felt like for you hearing this information about the new moon. Also, let me know if you want to hear more about these little astrological weather reports. Do you like them separate? Do you like them combined into my inspirational transformational talks? I'm curious how you're receiving these. Please subscribe to this channel if you haven't. Share it with your friends. Also go to my Instagram, the_soul nurturer. I'm always posting supportive, inspirational messages there. And I also give information about classes coming. I do have a class this Saturday. I'm calling it What's Self-Love Got to Do with It? And truly, it's everything. Love begins with us and ripples out through us. And instead of looking for love and all of our needs being met in someone else, we start here. So that's what my class is about this Saturday, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Pacific Standard Time on Zoom. So right in your living room, wherever you are. So I'll put in information about how to contact me there as well for that class. All right. Any questions? Any answers? I thank you so much for spending this time with me. I hope this was supportive to you and helped you feel empowered, your soul nurtured, so that you can step forward as your authentic, awesome self more and more. All right, take good care of yourself. Until next time.